My name's Heather Marshall, and reading is my struggle, so I was going to write a whole speech, but I'm just gonna talk with you guys a little bit about Fortune. I came to Fortune Academy as a freshman in high school, and my struggles academically were not just in the classroom. I also struggled with pulling my hair out when I got too stressed out, and that caused a lot of anxiety in the classroom because I couldn't focus on my work and felt like everyone was just focused on me not having hair. So public school made me just kind of want to keep my head down, and I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't want to be noticed at all by anybody. When I came to Fortune, I was a hurting kid. I was just on a downward spiral and plummeting pretty fast, I'd have to say. When I found out that I was going to be going to Fortune, I definitely cried because I thought that I wasn't going to have a normal high school experience. But that was not necessarily the case. So being here at Fortune allowed me to be able to do some of the things that I most likely would not have been able to do in a public school, like cheerleading and volleyball and being in all the school productions and helping teachers with teaching some of their classes my senior year, just all things I wouldn't have been able to do if I was at a public school. That led me to be this girl that didn't want to be seen or talked to or anything, to be able to be the best Tinkerbell that our school has seen yet, at least in my opinion. And that's my story, so I'm gonna stick to that one. Another big thing for me is art class, because it was one of the main ways I knew how to express myself. So being able to have an art class all 4 years of high school was absolutely incredible and something I definitely wouldn't have been able to get at any other school. So thank you to Fortune for allowing me to discover my own normal and not society's version of normal. Also, one of the big things with Fortune is all of the teachers genuinely care about your well-being and how you're doing in school. So Mr. O was my safe person. He noticed every time something was off with me and would pull me into the classroom and chat about it just to make sure that I was doing okay and not overwhelming myself too much. I always had his class right before my lunch period, and if I was acting off or he could sense when I was going through some sort of struggle, and he would pull me out of lunch and let me sit in his classroom for lunch, and we wouldn't talk or anything. We would just get me away from all the craziness going on and time to just focus on myself. I went from being a kid that didn't want anyone to notice me at all to being a kid who just wanted a safe person to notice when I was struggling to help me out. Without Fortune, it's safe to say that college would have been out of the question. I wouldn't have even considered it an option for me. I would have just known from the beginning I wasn't gonna do it. So I ended up going to college, and it wasn't really for me, and I was kind of nervous. I didn't really want to tell my parents that I wanted to leave, and I didn't want them to be disappointed in me or anything, but they obviously were proud of me for even going at all, and I just didn't want to feel like I wasn't normal. One thing that I'm really grateful for is Fortune has taught me how to be an advocate for myself and how to figure out the OG of my life. So even though traditional college wasn't for me, I ended up going to trade school and going to cosmetology school, and now I'm a full-time hairstylist for the last 2.5 years, and it's going great. So now looking back at my high school years, I'm very thankful that I went through the struggles that I went through, because it gave me a chance now as an adult to help other people and to be that safe person for another person like Mr. O was for me. I recently had the chance to be able to help out someone's child with a struggle very similar to something that I've gone through, and it just made me feel like I went through those things for a reason instead of for no reason. So before Fortune, I was just that kid that was just hurting and struggling. But with their love and attention and all of their help, I was able to become the young adult that's successful and happy. I may not have been the best student with books, but Fortune has allowed me to be the best student of life that I can be. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope that this inspires you to donate to our Fund a Need to help students that are just like me.